Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. I am your boy Big Al. I'm your NBA guy. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We got 10 games in the NBA today. We're going to be going through the over-under and the spread. At the end of it, I give you guys my locks of the day. So it's my 4 favorite picks off this whole slate, and then I give you a 4-pick parlay that I give you a 4-pick parlay. It pays out anywhere from plus 500 to plus 1,000. We've yet to hit one. I've made 3 so far, so this will be the 4th one. I didn't make a video yesterday. I was feeling kind of under the weather, but we're in recovery mode, so I was like, gotta get up, gotta get a video out today. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this slate. We got a bunch of fun games today. This first one is actually a pretty good one. So we got the Clippers taking on the Nuggets. The spread is 8 points. The over-under is set at 218.5. I do like the Clippers in this spot. The Nuggets got absolutely embarrassed at home by OKC, and maybe embarrassed as a stretch, but they got beat by 15 at home. Which is crazy to me. So we were on the Nuggets in that game. They lost. So we got the Clippers. They played a close game against who'd they play? The Suns, game one rather. I see football. I say week instead of game, but you get the point. So they played a tough game against the Suns, which was surprising. And so I got the Clippers plus 8 here. I just think it's a touch too many points, especially until Denver shows me they can actually win. OKC, we get that they're a great team, but the Clippers are a good team as well. And so I just think 8's a little too many points. Also, as far as the over-under is concerned, I like the under here. I think both these teams are capable of slowing the ball down, playing good defense. So that's how I think this game's going to go. It's going to be more of a slogfest, slow down, bully ball, 2-man game with Jokic and Murray, and just kind of a slower game, but I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. So I like the Clippers plus the 8, and I like the under. Next, we got the Celtics taking on the Pistons. If you guys watched my last video, I told you Celtics, we're going to keep taking them regardless, well, not regardless of the points, but pretty much regardless of the points if they're playing bad teams, regardless of how big the spread is. So this is 13.5. It is a lot of points. They've won both their first 2 games by over 20. So we're just going to take it. Minus 13.5 with the Celtics. Over under set at 225.5. We are on the over. The Celtics have had one game way over, one game at 224, and then the Pistons have been right around 224 as well. So I like this game to go over. Next, we've got the Cavs taking on the Wizards. The spread is 9.5. The Cavs have won by double digits in both their first games, so we're going to trust them again against a Wizards team that's bad. It's partly liking the Cavs. It's partly just fading the Wizards. So I like the minus 9.5 with the Cavs. Over under set at 229.5. I like the under here. I think the Cavs play good enough defense to keep this under. I think we're in the low 220s or the high teens. So I like the under in this spot, under 230. Next, we got the Heat taking on the Hornets. I love Miami. I told you guys that in the first video when they played in game 1. I almost did it again there. In game 1 against the Magic, they got beat by 20. So I think they're going to want to flip the script, and they're like, that's not who we are. We're going to play better. Their coach is great. Eric Spoelstra, great coach. So they're taking on this Hornets team that's surprisingly, they came out and won their first game, and then they lost their second game. So I like the Heat here, minus 5.5. I think they're going to be able to get the job done. And then I like the over. I think Charlotte plays with enough pace, and they're going to score enough points that the Heat are going to have to keep up a little bit, and then inevitably at the end you're going to get Jimmy and Bam, and they're going to do their thing and win this thing. So I like the minus 5.5 with the Heat, and I do like the over 224. I don't think it's going to be a huge over. Like, I think probably 230 is the max they probably get to. So I like the over, but not by a lot. I can't take an under here personally. Next, I got the Thunder taking on the Bulls, and by I mean we have the Thunder taking on the Bulls. It's 10 points, which is a lot. The Bulls are 1-1. The Thunder, I believe, are 1-0. The over-under set at 231.5. I think we have to go with the Thunder here. They were able to beat a Nuggets team that we all think is really good. The Bulls, I don't think, are on the same level as the Nuggets, so I like the Thunder minus 10. It is a tough line because it's a lot of points. And the Bulls haven't looked terrible, but I think we just kind of have to plug our nose and take the minus 10 with OKC and then just trust it. So I'm on that, and then I'm on the under 231.5. I think the Thunder play pretty good defense, so they're going to be able to make it tough for the Bulls to score, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if I said his name properly, he's going to do his thing, and then the boys are going to score points. So I like minus 10, and I like the under there. Next, we got the Magic taking on the Grizzlies. This game's interesting to me. This is one of the games I gave out as my lock of the week. I made a short yesterday for it, and I liked the Grizz. They were plus 3.5 against Houston. I was like, yo, this feels like an easy game here. Like the Grizzlies. Then they lose by 20. So what do I know? The Magic plus 1, they dunked on Miami in game one, which I did say at the time it was a pick 'em game, that Magic Miami game. I liked Miami just because I do like Miami. 2 years ago when they were in that playoff run, I bet on them the whole time and I made tons of money. So I'm kind of biased maybe towards Miami. But I was like, it's going to be a close game because we saw what the Magic did in the playoffs last year. But I just liked the Heat at home to kind of make something happen. They did not. They lost that game by 20. So I like the Magic in this spot, +1 with Memphis coming off the back-to-back. And then as far as an over-under is concerned at 223, I do like the over 223. I think Memphis is going to get to 110. Pretty comfortably, 110, 112, and then the Magic, if they're going to win, they're going to have to match that. That gets you to a 224 or 220 to 224, right in that range. So I think this game gets pretty close to 230 also, and I do like the over here. Next, we have the Raptors going to Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves. Now, we know what the Timberwolves are. They're a great team. They, had that deep playoff run last year. You got Anthony Edwards, you got Rudy Gobert, you got the boys. We know what they're about. You got this Raptors team that has looked interesting. The spread is 14.5. Now, this one may be a shocker. I'm taking the Raptors plus 14.5. I think it's just a touch too many points. I think the T-Wolves win by 10. But 14.5 feels like too much. So I'm on the Raptors here. It's kind of like the Celtics play. I took the Celtics minus 13.5, which is a similar line. But I don't put Minnesota in the same realm as the Celtics currently. And the Celtics are playing the Pistons, who I think are worse than the Raptors. So it's just sort of like Pistons team that's worse than the Raptors team, and a Celtics team that's better than a T-Wolves team in my mind, and you get more points. So I'm on the Raptors plus 14.5. The over-under set at 218.5. I'm going to take the over. I think the Raptors are going to play fast enough to make this a game, and then inevitably at the end, just the talent on the Minnesota side is going to be too much for them to handle, and they're going to end up losing it by, 8 to 10 points. So, but I do like the over. I think that's the side to be on. So next we've got the Rockets taking on the Spurs. Now, like I said, if the Rockets come in here and win this game, I'm going to have to change my take on the Rockets, and we might have to flip the script on how we think of them, because they've played a lot better in these first two games they've played than I anticipated them playing. So I think of the Rockets. I don't think of them as a very good team, but they've played good so far to start this season. So we may have to tap the brakes and reassess here if they win this game. But I am on the Spurs plus 1.5. They've had more rest, and then the over/under set at 222.5. I do like the over here as well. The Rockets are going to score points. That's what they've shown in their first two games. The Spurs can score points as well. And like I said, I expect them to win the game. I get plus 1.5 with them. So it feels like, once again, the right side to be on. We will see what transpires. But this one should be fun too. It should be a fun game to watch. Wemby's crazy. Chris Paul, I think they may take some time to get gelling and get going, but I just feel like this is a spot where they bounce back from losing to Dallas. They lost to Dallas by 11, and we had the Spurs plus 8, so we missed on that. But it was close, and the Mavs are, in my opinion, a much better team than the Rockets. So I think the Spurs can play them closer and get the win. And then the over is just kind of both teams get to 110. Somebody has to win the game, so I think we get over that number. Last two games of the night, these are both really fun ones. You get the Mavericks taking on the Suns, and then the last one is the Kings taking on the Lakers. I love the Mavericks here, -3. The Suns are coming off a tough loss last night to the Lakers. It is a back-to-back spot, so I like the Mavs here, who are rested. They've only played one game. That was against the Kings on Thursday. So they're the more rested team, and you could argue they're the better team. They have Klay Thompson now. He played a great game. I think he had 22 points in their first game. Your over-under set at 231. I like the over here. We both know that both these teams are star-studded. They can score pretty much at will. And defensively, I don't know that the Suns play great defense, and the Mavericks, I don't know that they play great defense. Like, you just have two pretty average defenses and two, prolific offensive scoring players on both teams. So I like the over here. It feels like the right spot. And then I like the Mavericks -3 just simply because they're the rested team. The Suns are really good, but they're on a back-to-back. So I'm going to go ahead and fade them on a back-to-back. Give me Luka and the boys who are rested. And we just take that to win and cash it. Now, +3 is the better odds money in this play, but I like the Mavs here to get the job done. Then the last game of the night, we've got the Kings taking on the Lakers. This should be a really fun game. I like the Kings Lakers are coming off 2 back-to-back, not back-to-back, but they won their first game, and then they just won last night against the Suns. But that's a tough game. Anthony Davis went off. He had a ton of points. He's been great in the first 2 games. But you got older guys like AD and LeBron, and they're on a back-to-back this early. I just don't trust it. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm taking the under 230 based on the fact I think the Lakers are going to have a little bit of a fall-off in production because of the back-to-back. And then I'm going to take the Kings minus the 1. When I was looking at these lines earlier, the Kings were actually +1. So that already flipped. But I like the Kings minus the 1 here, and then I like the under 230. And that, my friends, is the slate of games. Now we'll hop into the locks of the week. These locks of the day. I keep saying week. These are my 4 favorite bets for today on all the slate of games for over-unders and spreads. So I like the Mavericks minus the 3. Like I said, Suns coming off a back-to-back. They're still going to be good. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a close game. I'm not saying the Suns can't win this game because they're on a back-to-back or anything. But the Mavs rested. The Suns not. And it's only 3 points. I like the Mavericks here. Give me the Mavericks to keep winning. Then I got the Celtics minus 13.5 because, like I said, they're playing not a good team, and they are the Celtics, and they've won each game by over 20. So give me the Celtics again, minus 13.5. Then I like the Magic Grizzly game to go over 223. Like I said, Grizzlies are going to get to 110. I think the Magic win this game. They're going to win by at least 3 points. So that gets you to 223. That's my math. That's how I see the game playing out. And then the last pick for my 4 pick is Cavs minus 9.5. Like I said, they've won both of their first 2 games by double digits. I don't think the Wizards are that great, so I like them to win by 10. They're the better team. And I will say, I thought about throwing Miami in here minus 5.5 against the Hornets, but I need Miami to show me something before I trust it enough to throw it in. But if you guys like Miami better than you like laying the 9.5 with the Cavs, then by all means, that's who I would sub out. If you are going to take out the Cavs and you don't trust it, I would throw in the Heat. But those are my 4 locks of the week. We got the Mavs minus 3, or locks of the day. Mavs minus 3, Celtics minus 13.5, Magic Grizz over 223, and then the Cavs minus the 9.5, which you could sub for Miami. I mean, you could sub Miami for any of those other picks if you didn't like them either, but that's what I like. Now, let's hop into the 4-pick parlay. Like I said to start the video, I haven't hit one yet this year. We've made 3 videos. This is the 4th one. Hoping this one hits. I feel really good about it. So first of all, we got Bradley Beal over 4.5 assists. He had 9 last night against the Lakers, so I like him to just kind of keep that going. You know, he's new to the team. He was the addition middle of the season last year. So I think a whole off season he's gotten to gel with KD and Booker. He's kind of more of the primary ball carrier, brings the ball up. He's dishing. I think that's a good line for him, 4.5. So we just need him to get to 5 assists. I don't think that's too crazy. Next, we got Jason Tatum for 8 boards. I played this a lot last year as a prop bet. It hit a ton of times. He had 11 in the game the other night. So I like him to get to 8. I don't think he touched this number in the first game. I think he had six boards. But Tatum for 8 boards. He's going to get 4 or 5 in the first half, and then he'll probably get 3 or 4 in the second half. That's how he tends to do it. And then it's not going to feel like it's going to hit, and then it's going to hit in the fourth quarter, and you're just going to be like, yeah, this is awesome. So, like Tatum for 8 boards. DeMar DeRozan for the Kings, 30-plus points, rebounds, and assists. He had 36 in their first game. I think and this was a plus money play, which I was a little shocked by. I think the reason it's plus is because they assume that with LeBron out there and with Anthony Davis out there, there's going to be a lot of stress on DeRozan. He's not going to be able to get the shot selection he actually wants. But I think AD's going to be, have his hands full with Sabonis doing his thing, and then LeBron's going to be dancing around, guarding other people too. So I think DeRozan 30-plus is a great number, and I think he's going to get there. And, we like that team, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and Kevin Huerter, those boys. And so you add DeRozan in that mix. I think he's a perfect complement to what they like to do. So him at 30-plus, I'm just going to trust it, and we're going to go with that. And then my final pick, Aaron Gordon, 5-plus boards. He had 8 the other night. Him and Michael Porter Jr., I play both of them usually during basketball season for 5-plus rebounds. It's super juiced now. Like 2 years ago, during that playoff run the Nuggets had when they went and won the whole thing, I played it, and you got pretty good odds on it, minus 150, minus 180. Then last season, it was all minus 200 basically for 5-plus boards. This year, it's like close to minus 300. But I looked at both of them. They both get tons of boards. I was going to take Michael Porter Jr., but Aaron Gordon's line was a little bit better. Like Michael Porter's minus 280. Gordon was like minus 250. So I was like, okay, we'll just take the better odds there. And I trust both of them to get 5 boards. So so that's it. Bradley Beal, 5 assists. Tatum, 8 boards. DeRozan, 30-plus points. Excuse me. DeRozan, 30-plus points, rebounds, and assists. And then Aaron Gordon, 5-plus boards. And that parlay pays out plus 600. At least it did when I built it just 10 minutes ago. So that's the 4-pick parlay. Like I said, hopefully this one hits and we make back all the money we spent on the first 3, and bada bing, bada boom, we're in the green, baby. Thank you guys for tuning in to this video. Do appreciate it. Please check out the NFL best bets video for Sunday. That's one of my favorite videos we make on the channel, and we will catch you guys tomorrow with more NBA. Anyway, good luck, have fun, watch these games, and like I said, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. End video.